It's 8 a.m. and you're here to know about everything that happens in the world of cricket because that's what you're here for. Welcome back to Wake Up Cricket powered by Pavilion Picks. A lot's happened yesterday. We had a fantastic game last night where two debutants just shook the world of cricket, especially for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Actually, especially for the Rajasthan Royals because it was against the Rajasthan Royals. But if you didn't watch the game last night, this is the place you have to be. Now, before we get into things, like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff, let's get into it.
So, yes, this is what happened yesterday in the world of cricket. Debutants shine as SRH outclass RR in clinical IPL win. Sunrisers Hyderabad delivered a commanding performance to defeat Rajasthan Royals, with debutants stealing the spotlight in a dominant all-round display. The match was effectively decided in the power play, where SRH's young pacers dismantled RR's top order, leaving them with no way back. The star of the night was debutant Praful Hinge, who lived up to his own pre-match prediction by picking up a sensational haul. He struck early and decisively, removing key batters including Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Dhruv Jurel, and Donovan Ferreira, breaking the backbone of the Rajasthan Royals chase within his first spell. Saqib Hussain complemented him brilliantly, chipping in with crucial wickets, including that of Yashasvi Jaiswal, and finishing strongly at the death. Chasing a competitive total, Rajasthan Royals' aggressive approach backfired as they collapsed under pressure. Despite their intent to attack, they were reduced to a precarious position early, and though the lower order showed some resistance to push the score to a respectable total, the damage had already been done. Speaking after the game, SRH captain Ishan Kishan praised the hunger and the preparation of the debutants, highlighting the role of the coaching staff in getting them ready. He also emphasized the importance of giving young players opportunities at home, a move that paid off immediately. Our captain Trian Parag admitted that his side misread the conditions and failed to adapt, calling it a blip while backing his team to bounce back in the upcoming matches. Early in the day, SRH's bowling unit executed their plans to perfection, maintaining discipline and exploiting the conditions effectively. Their clarity in approach and fearless execution stood in stark contrast to RR's misfiring batting unit. With this win, Sunrise Hyderabad gained strong momentum in the tournament, while Rajasthan Royals will look to regroup quickly after their first setback of the season.
What a fantastic match it was last night. Again, it was a run fest, and this is something we will get into with the next news. But for Sunrisers Hyderabad, in the first ball, you had Abhishek Sharma get out. For Rajasthan Royals, you had Vaibhav Suryavanshi get out in the first ball. And then this is the first time in 19 years of IPL history where you had someone get a wicket in the first over. Not just a wicket, so you had someone get three wickets in the first over for starters. And then it was for the very first time, of course, a debutant in the IPL was doing this. It was a dream start for both debutants in the first two overs, where in the second over, you had, I forgot who got, I think Dhruv Jurel got out in the second over. Someone got, oh no, it can't be Dhruv Jurel. Someone got out in the second over. And then you had another wicket where Hinge gets his fourth wicket in his second over. And from there, it was just a dream run for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. I remember talking about how Sunrisers Hyderabad don't have a good bowling lineup, and if anything, they have a weak bowling lineup. Hopefully, for their sake, the match yesterday just gives them a momentum in terms of their bowling lineup and gives them a lot of positives to hold on to. And hopefully, these two debutants can just continue carrying the form and get a lot of wickets for their team.
Hmm. Now brace yourself because the word Runfest is going to come time and again in our today's bulletin. IPL 2026 turns into a Runfest as records stumble early. The 2026 season of the Indian Premier League 2026 has exploded into life with batters dominating like never before in the tournament's history. After just 20 matches, the season is already being labeled the most explosive IPL ever. The overall run rate has crossed 10 runs per over for the first time, surpassing last year's record of 9.52 at the same stage. A major driver of the surge has been the power play. Teams are now scoring at a staggering 10.44 runs per over in the first 6 overs, marking a dramatic rise from just 7.49 back in 2022. The modern T20 approach, fearless hitting, innovative stroke play, and the continued impact of the impact player rule has completely refreshed how teams approach the start of the innings. Six hitting has also reached unprecedented levels. The frequency of sixes has improved significantly, with batters now clearing the ropes more often than ever, reflecting the rise of what experts call range hitting. Another defining trend has been the normalization of big shots. There have been 20 scores of 200 or more in 20 matches, nearly double the tally at the same stage last season. What's most striking is how often these totals are being chased down. Teams batting second have successfully chased 200 plus targets 5 times, showing that no total feels safe anymore. Individual batting has also become more aggressive. Out of 48 50 plus scores so far, nearly a third have come in under 25 balls, highlighting the urgency and attacking mindset of modern batters. While bowlers may find some assistance later in the tournament as pitches wear down, the early phase of IPL 2026 has been a spectacle dominated by power hitting, fearless cricket, and relentless scoring. For now, the message is clear: this IPL belongs to the batters.
And it is no surprise that this IPL belongs to the batters. For starters, a lot of these stats are from cricket, for just letting you all know. But yeah, it's quite concerning when you think about it, about the amount of 200 plus scores, the amount of 50 scored in less than 25 deliveries, the the type of pitches that are being thrown about in the IPL. Now, see, I understand that a lot of this is done because it looks great, right? It's entertaining. It's a spectacle when you see batters just dominate bowlers like this. But when you take a step back, and a month before the IPL started, when you were watching when you were watching the World Cup, it was great because there was a contest between bat and ball. There was a contest between how batters had to go about scoring runs. You saw half of the Indian batters struggle because they realized this is a World Cup and it wasn't at the flattest of tracks that they were getting heading into the World Cup. And as a cricket fan that I am, I quite enjoyed it. And I might be biased because I don't know what the bias is, but I might be biased that I do want bowlers to get wickets. I do want bowlers to be able to dominate at some point, which is also why I like the pitch in Guwahati where Jofra Archer just gets so much off the pitch. You have fast bowlers getting stuff off the pitch. But yeah, I would hope that there are more pitches like this around the country, just for the sake of balance and just for the sake of bowlers also being happy that they chose to become bowlers.
Hmm. Now, that's some part of the information from the previous news that would appear in this
Yeah.
one as well, and the reason for that being the context. Now, Dhoni's IPL return delayed as Runfest IPL 2026 continues. In IPL 2026, Chennai Super Kings are likely to be without MS Dhoni for longer than expected as the veteran continues to recover from a calf injury. The 44-year-old has missed the opening 4 matches and is yet to resume full intensity training, raising doubts over his immediate return. Despite his absence, head coach Stephen Fleming confirmed Dhoni remains actively involved in team strategy. Meanwhile, the tournament has witnessed an unprecedented surge in scoring rates. After 20 matches, IPL 2026 has already produced 20 totals of 200 or more, underlining a dramatic shift towards high scoring encounters. Power play scoring rates have crossed 10 runs per over for the first time in IPL history, driven by aggressive batting and evolving techniques. Teams chasing big totals have also thrived, with multiple successful 200 plus run chases already recorded. The trend reflects a growing confidence among batters, aided by the impact player rule and fearless intent at the top of the order. As the tournament progresses, attention will remain on whether bowlers can adapt and counter this batting dominance, while franchises like Chennai Super Kings await the return of key figures to stabilize their campaigns.
Now, a lot of these stats were repeated. Some of these stats, to be honest, is also because of the team we're talking about. A lot of people are talking about the Chennai Super Kings, and a lot of people are talking about if Chennai Super Kings is capable to bat deep, and if they are able to bat deep, are they able to score big? Especially the captain Ruturaj Gaikwad. Now, there's been a lot of criticism on him because he hasn't been able to do that this season as of yet. I forgot who. I think it was Akash Chopra, I think, or it was Wasim Jafar. One of them. They were talking about how Ruturaj Gaikwad has a tunnel vision of scoring big, which is why he wants to bat deep. Except, yeah, except that doesn't make sense anymore, especially with the impact player rule. Ruturaj Gaikwad is very classical, right? He's very classical. He's technically sound, and if without the impact player rule, he would be flourishing in the T20 format, and you would see him play for India already. I mean, he has played, but he would be a prominent figure. He's very much like Virat Kohli in the sense of the style of play that he wants to go about. I'm not comparing the two players, just talking about the style of play. And Ruturaj Gaikwad would have been flourishing without the impact player rule. Except there is the impact player rule in the IPL, and he needs to adapt his game to that. He needs to be able to attack from the get go, or at least attack more aggressively than what he's doing right now. A lot of people are concerned. A lot of people are excited, of course, with the fact that Sanju Samson and Ruturaj Gaikwad were opening, but a lot of people were also concerned by the fact that they didn't think these two would be using the power play all that much. And as of now, those people who are worried are accurate. Sanju Samson and Ruturaj Gaikwad have struggled in the power play. They don't come out of the power play staying not out. Even if they do stay not out, they don't bat aggressively. Sanju Samson in the last game where he did score that 100 did use the power play. That was the highest score that they had scored in the power play. But yeah, Ruturaj Gaikwad as the captain and as someone who scored a lot of runs for the Chennai Super Kings needs to come into form.
And that quote was by Wasim Jaffer.
Yep.
And what he potentially meant was that there are a lot of players who grow up on T20, who are introduced to T20 right when they pick up their bats. Potentially, Ruturaj Gaikwad is not one of them because
Yep.
he scored tons and tons of runs in domestic cricket, and that's been inculcated, that's been ingrained into him. It is about the number of and the volume of runs than the impact. That's what
Yep.
Wasim Jaffer seemed to suggest. Nonetheless, we move on to the next story. Record prize pool announced for 2026 Women's T20 World Cup. The International Cricket Council has unveiled a record prize pool of US dollars 8.76 million for the upcoming ICC Women's T20 World Cup 2026, marking a 10% increase from 2024 edition. The tournament, set to be held in England from June 12th to July 5th, will also feature an expanded format with 12 teams and 30 group stage matches. The champions will receive 2.3 million US dollars, unchanged from the previous edition, while runners up will earn 1.17 million US dollars. Losing semi-finalists are set to take home 6,75,000 USD, and each group stage win will be worth 31,154 US dollars. A key change this year is the removal of positional prize money for teams that do not reach the knockout stages, while the minimum participation payout has increased from 247,500 US dollars. Some mid-table teams could earn less overall compared to 2024 depending on match wins. The biggest financial gains will be seen by teams reaching the knockouts. Semi-finalists, finalists, and champions are all guaranteed higher overall earnings due to the increased base participation fee. This continued rise in prize pool follows the ICC's push for parity after its landmark decision to equal prize pools across men's and women's global tournaments. The previous edition was won by New Zealand women's national cricket team. The tournament will kick off at Edgbaston with host England taking on Sri Lanka, while the final will be held at the iconic Lord's Cricket Ground.
Well, for starters, when you look at this news objectively, you would be very happy that the amount of prize money is increasing, but then you would expect it because of inflation and all of that, which means if it wasn't increasing, that would have been a problem. The increase is normal. That's how it should be. But it's a good thing because ICC is considering it and ICC is increasing it. So I'm glad that's happening. You do want to see prize money and all of that being equal across men and women, regardless of men and women, as long as it's the same sport. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting T20 campaign because India has played a lot of T20 cricket, except we haven't really decided our playing 11 yet, which will be interesting because we are heading to South Africa to play against South Africa, but the difference is that the conditions will be quite different. So again, you're not going to really find your playing 11 unless you reach England, where you are going to play a couple of matches before the T20 World Cup starts, but you would hope to find your 11, right? There's a lot of chatter about hoping to get Radha Yadav back into the squad before the World Cup squad is announced because of how Radha Yadav performed in a multi-day tournament, but she did quite well. The second highest run scorer, the second highest wicket taker. There's a lot of chatter about a lot of players hoping to be picked in the playing 11, but there's a lot of chatter about the people picked already. And so, yeah, it will be interesting. It will be the last World Cup for a couple of players who were featured in the ODI World Cup, possibly the captain, Harmanpreet Kaur. I'm not saying she should retire, but it would make sense if it is a last World Cup as the captain, as a player, possibly. So yeah, we will find out. But yeah, a World Cup to look forward to. A lot of expectations, of course, because we won the last ODI World Cup. But yeah, it will be a fun World Cup.
Hmm. It's not as much fun for Tim David as he has been fined for code of conduct breach. Hardik Pandya penalized for slow raid. Tim David has been fined 25% of his match fee and handed one demerit point following a level 1 breach of the IPL code of conduct during IPL 2026 clash between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians. The offence falls under Article 2.4, which relates to disobeying an umpire's instructions. The first incident took place in the 18th over of RCB's innings when David refused to immediately hand over the ball after it was changed by the umpires, choosing instead to inspect it. Despite repeated instructions, he delayed returning it. A second instance occurred in the final over of the innings, where David once again failed to promptly comply with the umpire's request to hand over the ball, resulting in further action. David accepted the sanction imposed by the match referee. In a separate incident, MI captain Hardik Pandya was fined INR 12 lakh for maintaining a slow over rate. This marks Mumbai's first such offence of the season. On the field, RCB secured an 18-run victory at the Wankhede Stadium, climbing to the third place in the points table. Meanwhile, MI continued to struggle, sitting eighth with three losses in four matches.
Now, this happened day before yesterday, but the fine came about only yesterday. Interestingly, the fine or any consequence for the Rajasthan Royals management or the staff member who used the phone hasn't come about. So, if that comes about, we'll repeat that news again. But yeah, we spoke about Tim David yesterday about how that was the most. I have never seen something like that. That was the most unnecessary thing that Tim David did. And of course, he got a fine because why were you doing that in the first place? If you didn't know what was happening, Tim David was showing the umpires by rolling up the ball while he was batting. So he took the ball from the umpire or from the fielders and rolled it up to show that how the ball is not shaped properly, which is why there's a bit of an imbalance. So he was trying to show the umpires that, except the bowlers would usually do it. The bowlers don't necessarily like not properly shaped balls. So yeah, I didn't know what was going on, and the umpires kept asking for the ball, and Tim David kept trying to
Yeah.
show off his point. Again, very bizarre set of events, and Hardik Pandya getting a slow over rate, yeah, didn't surprise me at all. With the way the Royal Challenges Bangalore were going about batting, me as a captain, I would want to take all the time in the world to set my fielders because yeah, they were just batting. Oh, I was going to swear for a second. They were batting really well. Let's just stop there. I know I have 35 seconds left unless I've unless Meg has something to add
Hmm.
because my
Well,
brain just froze while I was trying to correct the word that I was going to use.
no, there was unparliamentary language that you wanted to use, and that's why your brain signaled you to shut up.
Yes, yes, that exactly
Nonetheless,
that.
it's meme time, and Matthew George, he mentioned yesterday that yesterday was first time ever with him joining us for the live, and so happy that he has joined again today. Good morning indeed, Matthew George. Where are you watching this from? Is it morning in that part of the world? We'd love to know that.
And
And
damn,
it's
Matthew, dude, you've got my spelling spot on, which is very, very impressive. Good on you.
yes. All right, then it's meme time, and the meme is about an old wound that was inflicted on the RCB.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would have hoped as an RCB fan yesterday that the 49 all out would have been broken. Looking at Rajasthan Royals being 9 for 5 at one point, scoring 9 runs and 5 wickets fallen. Yet they cross that by a mile. They cross that very, very easily. And every time something happens, I feel like this is a thing between the RCB fan and any other fan at this point. Because RCB has suddenly won an IPL trophy. They think they're the best team in the world, which they possibly are. They have a bloody good team. But the argument always is if you're a Mumbai or a CSK fan versus the RCB fan, you would say, I have more trophies. If you're any other, Kolkata Knight Riders also, in fact, if you're Delhi, Punjab, you could always say that, hey, at
Mhm.
least we didn't get all out for 49. And I feel like that's a valid argument. A team getting all out for 49 is insane. I have never gotten out for 49 as much as RCB has gotten all out for 49. That says something about the team at that point or me as a player. You could either or, to be honest.
Ashwin, any argument against the RCB, you'd hold that. Whether that allows teams like DC and PBKs to say that at least we didn't get all out for 49.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
true.
a massive or convincing enough argument for teams that have not won the IPL despite being associated with the IPL since its inception.
No, true. I think that's a valid argument. To get all out for less than 50 is kind of insane. But yes, this has been the news for the day and what's happened in the world of cricket. to last night. I was going to say tonight, but last night. Tonight, although we have a very interesting game. So it's between two teams that aren't the strongest, which is also why it will be interesting to see who comes out on top. It's the Chennai Super Kings versus the Kolkata Knight Riders. Both teams have a lot of solutions to find. Of course, Chennai is coming off a win. Finally, they got a win in this IPL. Yet they do have a lot of problems, and if it'll be interesting to see if they can find solutions. Kolkata Knight Riders, they're a bit all over the place. Where when their batting works, their bowling doesn't work. When the bowling works, their batting doesn't work. And the captain, as much as he's been going on about a lot of things in the press conference, tactically he hasn't been sound so far. Which is why you got to watch out for the game. But if you don't, you come back tomorrow at 8 a.m. and come back to us at Wake Up Cricket powered by Pavilion Picks to know everything that's happened in the world of cricket. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.